In recent weeks and months, we have seen a shocking increase in extremist disruption and criminality. What started as protests on our streets has descended into intimidation, threats, and planned acts of violence. Jewish children fearful to wear their school uniform lest it reveal their identity, and abused in the street for the actions of a terrorist group they have no connection with. Now our democracy itself is a target. MPs do not feel safe in their homes. Long-standing parliamentary conventions have been upended because of safety concerns. And it is beyond alarming and is endorsed by the racist former leader. I need to speak to you all this evening because this situation has gone on long enough and demands a response not just from government, but from all of us. We're a reasonable country and a decent people.
Immigrants who have come here have integrated and contributed. They have helped write the latest chapter in our island story. They have done this without being required to give up their identity.
You can be a practicing
or a committed Jewish person and the heart of your local community, and all underpinned by the tolerance of our established Christian church.
But I fear that our democracy is being deliberately undermined. There are forces here at
Since October the 7th, there have been those trying to take advantage of the suffering that war brings to the innocent, to women and children, to advance a divisive, hateful ideological agenda.
Our streets have been hijacked by small groups who are hostile to our membership of our society is contingent on some simple things. That you abide by the rule of law.
Threats of violence and intimidation,
but there are small and vocal hostile groups who do not. They are equally desperate to pretend that their violence is somehow justified.
which aims to separate Muslims from the rest of society.
We must not allow that to happen.
Both want to set Britain against Britain, to weaponize the evils of anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim hatred for their own ends.
Spreading a point.
They want us to doubt ourselves, to doubt each other, to doubt our country's history and achievements. They want us to accept a moral equivalence between Britain and some of the most despicable regimes in the world. Our country, and the West more generally, is solely responsible for the world's ills, and that we, along with our allies, are the problem.
Britain is and has been on the wrong side of history.
No country is perfect. Our place in history is defined by the sacrifices our people have made.
Britain is a race.
I stand here as our country's first non-white Prime Minister
to crush young dreams and turn impressionistic minds against their own society.
we must be prepared to stand up for our shared values in all circumstances, no matter how difficult.
In policing the protests we have seen,
But we must draw a line. There can be no cause that you can use to justify the support of a prescribed terrorist group.
and yes, you can freely criticize the act.
You cannot use that as an excuse to call for the eradication of a state or any kind of hatred.
This week, I've met with senior police officers.
That they will not merely manage these protests, but police them. And I say this to the police: we will back you when you take action. To that end, this month the government will implement a new, robust framework for how it deals with this issue, to ensure that we are dealing with the root causes of this problem.
You cannot be part of our civic life.
We will redouble our support for the PREVENT program to stop young minds.
We will also act to prevent people entering this country.
That if those here on visas choose to spew hate or protest or seek to intimidate people, we will remove their right to be here.
I want to speak directly to those who choose to continue to protest.
The time has now come for us all to stand together to combat the forces of division and beat this poison.
When they tell their lies, we will tell their lies.
We will redouble our efforts for that extra ounce of
Compassion and empathy doesn't exist.
I love this country. My family and I owe it so much.
If we do that,
We can make this a country in which we all feel a renewed sense of divisive, hateful ideological agenda